r/AskReddit. Ladies, what insecurities do you often see in men that women couldn't care less about? Original poster fishing for someone to say peen size. That's what I came here for. Letting their flaccid peens be seen. I find this funny actually. I tend to do this on purpose. If you can't handle me at my smallest, you can't handle me at my slightly biggest. I have to figure out a way to work this into a normal conversation with the missus. Start by taking out your flaccid peen. Continue by helicoptering it. I've noticed that multiple guys I have dated will flex their biceps when I grab hold of their arm on a walk or suck on their tummy, like it's not super important. I like muscles as much as the next girl, but dad bods are a-okay in my book too. Being a nerd or a geek. A ton of guys are proud of it, but to the few that aren't, the right girl will love your passions and whatnot. I've always been embarrassed about how much I enjoy playing games. I think what bothers me is there is a stigma a lot of guys have created about people who are heavily into games lacking social skills, or being super judgmental towards women who play, and that it's an utterly useless passion which doesn't translate at all into a useful skill. It's like someone who is super into books or movies, except there is at least some prestige found in books and movies. There's none in games, just a kid who never grew up. The need to be super masculine when it comes to everything. Drink a girly drink at the bar, enjoy a rom-com, cry when you get to add something new to your collection. Edit, if you're legitimately a manly man and enjoy manly things, I get it. I'm talking about the guys who throw a fit because someone asked them to do something that might be perceived as feminine. As for the crying, I'm referring to happy tears. Agreed. A man ordered a pink drink, dragon fruit refresher, at Starbucks but had to mention that it was for his girlfriend, but actually, he was seen sipping it in the cafe. Like, nobody cares. Having to foot the bill on dates. Split it or I'll grab the next one. No biggie. Just to provide some perspective on this, I have no problem splitting or taking turns on the bill. Just please tell me upfront and consistently. I consider date nights to be entertainment spending. I wouldn't have set up or agreed to the date if I was worried about the cost. I'm worried about coming across as cheap. Yeah, I prefer women who believe in pragmatic or non-traditional gender roles, but if I'm otherwise crazy about a girl who prefers to keep it old school, I'm not going to risk my chances of a second date over the cost of dinner and drinks. If the bill comes and we haven't discussed who is paying, or if she's shown any kind of hesitance, I'll pay the bill. Happily. I'm into really skinny guys, and the majority of guys I've been with have made comments about hating their bodies and how skinny they are. I've never really understood because I think they look great. But I guess there is a stereotype of guys being big and buff and stuff. Skinny dude here. I'm pretty self-conscious about it, so thanks for the confidence boost. Lack of sexual experience. As long as you're kind, eager, and willing to learn, you're already doing better in bed than a dude who thinks he has it all figured out and doesn't bother to listen to his partner and assumes he already knows what she'll like. The need to be really muscly or the obsession with growing lots of facial hair. Frankly, I'm just in the gym so I can drink all the ducking time and not be fat. Not being able to grow a beard/mustache. Honestly, who cares? But I've known so many guys that feel insecure because they're not hairy enough. Being hairy gets real ducking annoying fast. Hairy guy here. Can confirm. Head to toe, there's not really a part of my body that doesn't have some hair. The only plus side of being as hairy as me is I can grow full facial hair pretty quickly, but it also means I'm shaving every damn day. My husband is insecure about his hairline and hair color, a ginger that started balding at 18. His build, thinks he's not muscular enough, his teeth. Some of his teeth are fake, but his parents didn't have dental insurance, so they're kind of bad implants that were poorly installed and maintained, and the fact that he doesn't have a 4-year degree went straight into the workforce because school wasn't his strong point. Honestly, I wouldn't have perceived any of these things as being negative until he brought them up in a negative manner, and even then, none of them bother me. I'm much more interested in his humor, his talent, and his kindness towards the world in general. I also found him attractive because he stood out to me as different looking. He's also constantly insecure about me being out of his league. I'm like, I'm the one who approached you. I hit on you first. How is this even an insecurity? Sigh. Maybe buried, but I've noticed a lot of guys are self-conscious about moaning during sex. Honestly, it turns me on a lot more to know that you're enjoying it just as much as me. Edit. Well, at least it wasn't buried. Crying, it's healthy and normal. Edit. Obviously, if you personally don't often feel the urge to cry, that's fine. Women just understand if you do. Their salaries being lower than mine. I honestly couldn't care less, as long as you are working. Not lasting long enough in bed. Porn makes people believe sex needs to be hours long to be enjoyable. I don't agree. Foreplay should be long enough for both parties to be turned on, and then sex till both people come. That's it. It's about quality, not quantity. I'd rather have 10 minutes of fun sex than 40 minutes of forced sex. Edit. To clarify, I mean 10 minutes including foreplay and everything. Not 10 minutes of penetration. I also am not saying this is for everyone. I'm simply talking about me and my preferences. Some girls need longer foreplay. Some girls like it quick. It all depends on the individual. Implying 10 minutes is considered fast. Fuck. Now I consider 3 fast 10 is an ideal amount of time for me. I have a messed up back, so that's not long enough to hurt me, lol. Okay, now I'm feeling personally attacked. Penis size. Let me tell you, no matter how many women say it's fine, if one says it's small, your confidence gets fucking ruined. Grey hair. My boyfriend is 26 and has a head full of salt and pepper. I absolutely love it, but he really doesn't. I think it adds sophistication to his look. He thinks it means he'll be bald soon. You don't have to know anything about bourbon, wine, cars, sports, and I won't get bored to death. Win-win. Being the tough guy and letting other men disrespect you. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. If an asshole just cut you off in traffic or insulted you another way, you can let it go and no one will think less of you. I've seen way too many men escalate idiotic conflicts because they don't want to seem like wimps. We don't care if someone calls you a fag and you don't stand up for yourself. Really, I will always respect a man that walks away from violence than a guy that fights back. He's pretty particular about his designer button-down short-sleeved checked shirts. He has loads. I couldn't care less if he wore a shirt from Primark. Knowing anything about sports or being bro why. Knowing about girly things. Really, I'm not into sports, so it's a huge plus when a guy doesn't like sports and is super hot. When my husband can braid my hair, buys perfectly fashionable clothes, cook an amazing meal, be an expert at cleaning the house, or arrange an amazing centerpiece. Really, I just married da best guy. The sports thing isn't to show off for girls. It's to hold our own with other men. I'm not that into sports. I like watching football or basketball, but I don't know who everyone is or any stats. This hinders a guy when meeting other guys. It's usually the first thing men bring up to try and find mutual interest. When I don't know who someone is talking about, it really shuts down the conversation. Or just because we enjoy sports? Not sure exactly how to word this, but I think men shouldn't worry so much about taking care of their woman. You should take care of each other and not have one person be the sole proprietor of care. I dated a girl who would buy me a single flower and a 6-pack of beer at random times. I thought it was incredibly attractive. I've never dated a girl since who randomly gets me stuff, but I have sure been called out for not bringing spontaneous gifts. Your height. I don't care unless you're below my shoulders. If you complain about how you can't get girls due to your height, that's fine. But doing it every day to the girl you actually like to gain some sort of sympathy will deplete any chances you had in the first place. Please, be confident. You're probably in the minority. Online dating is hell for short guys. Hard one to put into words, but doing anything that isn't masculine. Like, I took my boyfriend to Lush with me once, and he was too nervous to show interest in things, because apparently self-care makes you look gay. I could tell he wanted to try this face wash though, so I bought it next time I went and left it in his shower. Never seen him smile so hard in my life. He's definitely come out of his shell more since we got together, but I can tell that there's still that "what if this makes me a pussy" voice in his head. Hey, what is up guys, Daniel here. Thanks so much for making it to the end of the video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like. And if you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe. More content is coming. Stay tuned.